Hello, today we are going to be taking a look at the Soulbind Calculator on Wowhead for Death Knights in Shadowlands, and this is going to be going over what the different builds are looking like, what's going to be good for different specs, what's going to be good for different types of content, and we're going to be covering like all of Death Knight here. This isn't going to be like a Frosty K specific video like I generally do. So without any further ado, I hope you enjoy the video and let's hop into it. All right, so we are here inside the Soulbind Calculator on Wowhead. I have a link to this down in the description if you want to check this out for yourself. I'll even include links to take you to the builds that I've already created if you want to kind of see for yourself and like read through the builds that I made, if that interests you. So first off, we have Plague Divisor Marileth. This guy is the very first Soulbind on this list. I don't know, I can't remember for sure if he's the first Soulbind you unlock. I think he is, but Volatile Solvent is the first ability, and there's no choice here. You just pick this ability. So using fleshcraft with nearby corpses derives a benefit from a corpse, differing based on the creature's type. Obviously this isn't going to have a big effect in PvP, but in PvE and open world, then this is going to be really cool. And I don't know what those like different benefits are exactly. If you do know, then please leave that in the comments down below, but I do not, so I have no clue what those benefits are, but I would assume that they're probably decent. Yeah, you know, like I say, don't get the pick here, so you kind of take it. So from there, you get to pick if you want endurance, a potency, or a finesse conduit. And a little bit about conduits, because I haven't made a video going over this specifically. You can pick this once per week. So like, let's say here, I want Blood Bond. There we go. That's slotted in there. And for 1 week in the current iteration, this is what I have. So a week from now, or next Tuesday, I'll be able to come in here and select Hardened Bones. Once I have my conduits in there, then all I want to, like anytime I want to, I can right click there, and I can completely respec this and select whatever I want. That is, the conduits, changing those out is on a 1 week cooldown, but actually like choosing your pathing through this, you can literally do any time you want. I believe you do have to go to your Covenant Sanctum to do it. You can't like do it out in the world or like in an arena starting room, which is kind of sad, but at least you can change that out for the kind of content you're doing. So anyways, the way that I decide which route I'm going to go at this point is actually look at what abilities I'm going to get. All the conduits are good. You're going to find a conduit of any of these 3 categories that is going to be good for the type of content and playstyle that you have, or for your spec. All 3 specs, all content. So conduits, they're like a wild card. They're truly a wild card. You can fit whatever fits your preference into here. They're all good. You can check out my Death Knight conduits video if you want to see more about what these conduits each do like individually. So if we take a look at these abilities, we see that if we go the endurance route, we get travel with bloop. While standing still, you slowly build stacks of bloop's wanderlust. At 10 stacks, your movement speed is increased by 10% for 2 minutes. I personally think this is awful. I never stand still in any type of content. Even when I'm tanking in a Mythic Plus, I just don't do it. If you do stand still a lot and you were like, whoa, bro, then go for it, man. But yeah, not my style. So and that doesn't like directly help your damage output or survivability either, which I'm not a huge fan of for PvP or PvE. I want one of those two generally. So if we look at Ooze's frictionless coating, which I would get if I go with the potency, then when reduced below 50% health, Ooze covers your armor, granting you a shield for 10% of your maximum health for 20 seconds. That's pretty good. Obviously, this is going to be super good for PvP, and that's why I've put the Brutal Grass conduit above it, because this is like my PvP. For me, this is how I'm doing it right now. This is my current build for PvP. You know, I'm going this way. This is my route for PvP, because that 10% health shield is just huge for PvP. So now if I want to go down this route, then I get Plague's Preemptive Strike. Your first strike or spell cast on an enemy increases your damage done to them by 10% for 5 seconds. In PvP, I'm thinking this isn't good because you're going to be training a lot. Sure, you're going to be swapping every now and again, but it is only 5 seconds. Me personally, I think I like this one better for PvP because I get that shield, which is great. But in PvE, like for you Unholy DKs or PvE Frost DKs, for Blood DKs, I'm thinking that this is going to be really good. So for me, I've like decided already, like this route is going to be my Mythic Plus route and my Raid route probably too. So Fleeting Wind, I went ahead and slotted Fleeting Wind into this for movement speed because I want to be, you know, I'm doing Mythic Plus or Raids. I want to be moving fast. I don't want to be left behind by all those demon hunters and monks and crap. So we're going to be going ahead and slotting that one in. I am at least. And then this is my Mythic Plus route. So now that we kind of got that shown, then what's the next choice in this route? We can take a Potency Conduit. And then we got Plagueborn Cleansing Slime. Defeating an enemy has a chance to deploy your Plagueborn Cleansing Slime, which improves the remaining durability on your armor. This is great for PvE. You're defeating lots of enemies. This is great for open world content. You're defeating lots of enemies. Not super, it doesn't really make any difference though in PvP. You don't even, I think they changed it to where you don't even lose durability in PvP anymore. So this is whatever. It doesn't make any difference anyway. There's no effect on performance. Then over here, you got Kevin's Keyring, which basically allows you to open up a lock up to skill level 60, which I believe in Shadowlands will probably be the highest skill level. And you only get to do it once every 24 hours. But each 1 second spent channeling Fleshcraft, Kevin's Keyring cooldown is reduced by 60 minutes. So this is pretty good. Me personally, I'm a blacksmith, so I don't need that. I'm going to be going with this one. But if you're not a blacksmith, that sounds cool and you don't care about durability, then there you go. You get to open up lockboxes and other things and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Then we get to pick a potency conduit, and that's awesome. Now we get to pick, okay, endurance conduit or a potency conduit. It's going to depend on like what you're wanting to do, what your personal taste is. You know, do you want to go more defensive? Do you want to go more offensive? For PvE, you're probably going to be wanting to go full on offensive the entirely. For PvP, then you're going to want to like, you know, probably kind of think about your own situation and kind of your gear too. If you're higher geared, then you can go more like balls to the wall DPS. But if you're under geared, then you're going to need that defense, you know? So that's going to be like case by case. But then we get into the last ability here, and this is a big one for PvP. So it's called Ultimate Form. While channeling Fleshcraft, you are immune to crowd control. Finishing the full channel grants you another 4 seconds of crowd control immunity. This is huge. This completely removes like the majority of a problem, and that was, how do you get Fleshcraft off in PvP? Obviously, you're going to be able to get it off like in the starting room, you know, and if you get behind a pillar, but what happens in combat? So this pretty much fixes that problem, and it gives you a little bit of crowd control immunity afterwards, which is dope. So for PvP, this is going to be huge. The next Soulbind tree, though, that we get is Emeni. And Emeni here, he actually does give us a choice in our first slot, and that is this one first. Emeni's Ambulatory Flesh. Ambulatory Flesh. Wow, that is a word right there. You may channel Fleshcraft while moving. This also solves a big problem for PvP. And I think it also works really good for PvE too, because if you're trying to like maximize that minimum downtime between pulls, then you don't want your DK to be in the back, you know, channeling Fleshcraft. You want him to be running and channeling that thing. So that's pretty cool. Over here, Emeni's Magnificent Skin. Activating your Necrolord class ability increases your maximum health by 5% for 30 seconds. For Frost and Holy DKs, this is like not even, just go for this one. But for Blood DKs, that could be pretty good because 5% of your health is actually a decent amount, you know, it actually means something to you guys. And of course, you guys heal based off your health percentage. So it kind of makes this like a built-in healing effect to your Covenant abilities, which is great because it just makes your death strikes heal for more. All right, so next up, the next choice we get is the Hearth Kidney Stone. You may attune your Hearth Kidney Stone to any resting location, return to it. 24-hour cooldown, reduced 5 minutes for every killing blow. So you get an extra Hearthstone basically that you're able to set independently of a Hearthstone, which is pretty cool. This can be great for open world stuff, but obviously has no bearing in PvE or PvP. I'm not even going to try and say this name. After taking falling damage, the health loss becomes a shield for 30 seconds. This to me is, okay guys, look, I'm really impatient. And I don't know if you guys remember High Mountain from Legion, but that place was multi-tier hell. Okay, it was multi-tiered hell. The whole country just sloped. All right, your boy had to do what he had to do. He didn't always have money for goblin gliders. All right, I'm not an engineer, and let's just say that these will definitely save my ass a lot, a whole lot. So that's like gonna be my open world pick right there. Then after that, you get a potency conduit, which is great. Once again, video goes over those potency conduits. And then you get to pick sulfuric emission. When reduced below 20% health, you fear nearby enemies for 3 seconds, which is pretty cool. And now this doesn't say fear them in place, which means in PvE, you have the risk of fearing someone and them running into another mob. And now it is only lasts for 3 seconds. So maybe they won't have enough time to get there. But that is something to keep in mind. In PvP, this is pretty cool. I'm thinking it's probably going to be best for PvP. But I can't help but imagine, like, I'm at 20% health and they get feared and they run away from me. We're so slow, man. I'm afraid they're going to run faster than me. And I'm not going to be able to reach them. And I'm going to miss a kill opportunity because of it. You know, I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with this one and kind of see. What do you guys think about this too? Like, I'm a little worried. I point out my worries with taking it, but maybe it could be great. I obviously see like how it could save your life if it fears enemies for, you know, for 3 seconds. Obviously, that's just why it's there. But anyways, Gnashing Chompers. Gain 1% haste for 20 seconds after defeating enemy, up to 5%. Obviously, it's going to be really good for Mythic Plus. This is going to be fine for open world. This is going to be... actually, it's going to be pretty bad for raids because like in trash packs, cool. But on a raid boss, you're not going to, you know... You're not gonna be getting much benefit out of that, so not a good Raider's choice. Good Mythic Plus choice. Not super great for PvP, obviously, because you're, you know, going off arena, you know. So I'm thinking this can be good, especially for like Unholy DKs and Mythic Plus. Like you guys, this one is very interesting. That's 5% free haste, man. That's dope. And then over here, Gristled Toes. Gristled Toes. These names, man. Who makes these names? So movement speed increased by 2% for every nearby enemy up to 10%. I think this one's going to be probably the best PvP one if you're feeling the same way I am about the fear on Sulfuric Emission. I feel like this one or Sulfuric Emission will be both great PvP choices. In Arena, it's going to equal at best 6%, you know, probably more commonly 2 to 4%. But in BGs, that's going to be really nice. Now for the final ability you get in this row is Embody the Construct. After using 60 spells or abilities, your next Fleshcraft will deal attack power, a bunch of math, basically how they figure up how much damage it'll do. Attack power 1.8 times 1 plus versatility. Anyways, shadow damage up to 5 nearby enemies over the duration and heal up to 5 nearby allies. So this sounds great for Mythic Plus, and this sounds pretty decent for PvP as long as you're actually getting it off like in combat, which since we're not running the Plague Divisor Marileth for the CC reduction, then chances are you're not going to be getting as many of them off. I think this run is really going to work well for PvE. I think this is the one that PvEers are going to really want because of that, and because it makes you explode, and it does shadow damage, which scales with Unholy DK Mastery, and it heals your allies. So I think this one's going to be like a really good Mythic Plus tree personally. So for this guy, he offers you Serrated Spolders or Resourceful Flesh Crafting. The Serrated Spolders basically is thorns. It makes it to where when enemies do damage to you, then they take a little bit of damage over 5 seconds when you're hit at melee range, of course. So basically thorns, which is pretty cool. Great for PvP. Great for PvP and open world. And then over here we have Resourceful Flesh Crafting. Defeating an enemy reduces Fleshcraft's cooldown by 1 second, which can be really good in PvE. This will probably be like the best for open world though, because in PvE you're probably not tanking. If you're a Blood DK, that could be good actually. So yeah, but Serrated Spolders is certainly looking to be my favorite choice. So I'm gonna pick that one. And then from there, you've got a choice. So first off, you have Heirmir's Arsenal Ravenous Pendant. Defeating an enemy restores 1% of your maximum health after 3 seconds, stacks to 5. That's pretty cool. That for Blood DKs could be really good because once again, anything that's like a percentage of a Blood DK's health is just amazing. Then Heirmir's Arsenal Gore Stompers. Damaging or healing a target below 35% grants you 25% increased movement speed for 5 seconds. May only occur once per 1 minute. This could be good for PvP because it ensures that we have no problem like having uptime whenever an enemy falls really low, which could be a problem versus a lot of different classes for us. I like that a lot. And for open world, this could be super strong too because it allows you to like just run between packs super quick. Heirmir's Arsenal, Morrow Gemstone. After landing 10 critical strikes, you gain 20% increased critical strike rating for 20 seconds. May only occur once per 60 seconds. This is awesome. Frost DKs, of course, crit all the time. That's great for Frost. Most Unholy DKs are wanting at least a decent amount of crits, so you're probably going to be getting a lot of crits too. Obviously, it's not super great for Blood unless like maybe you're running a really cool crit build where you get like lots of crits on your healing abilities, and of course it heals you for a ton. I don't know if that's a thing, but maybe somebody out there is like getting the gears spinning, you know, if they're putting this stuff together. So Heirmir's are so basically here I'm thinking like this one is going to be a super solid PvE choice for sure, and I think it would be a super solid PvP choice if it weren't for the way that I'm currently structuring this. So like I already picked one Endurance Conduit. If I pick this one, I have to take another Endurance Conduit, and that's not bad. 2 Endurance Conduits is actually what I want, but then you have to pick another Endurance Conduit right here. So for my build, I basically have a super tanky build, and that's not what I really want for my PvP. So I was thinking picking here, going down here, getting that potency conduit, and then being able to pick, you know, that endurance conduit. I have 2 endurance and 2 potency. Or for PvP, you could just change the whole thing up and say, screw having thorns. I'll take the dead PvP thing. I'll take this potency conduit so I can get my brutal grasp. I'll take this so I can get my eradicating blow. And then I would still actually want to go this way. That way I get that third one so I can get that unleashed frenzy, which I think is going to be really good. And so I'm thinking that's a pretty well-rounded PvP build either way. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. This will be like good to play with. But Blood DKs have a lot of really interesting choices, and PvE, there's a lot of really interesting choices. Like PvE build, like you'd want to go this way for sure, I'm thinking. You still do get a lot of endurance still there. So there's a couple problems. I don't know. This one's a little more complicated for sure. There's a lot of different possibilities here. That's the main thing I'm trying to get through you guys. Like there's a ton of possibilities here for how you could set this up and what kind of conduits you could put in different places and all that. So anyways, moving on. So we picked that, and now we have to pick this endurance conduit. So I'm gonna go ahead and put insatiable in here. Now something to mention, as you just saw, you can only have one conduit. Like I can only have insatiable appetite in one spot on this tree. I can't have insatiable here and over here. So that's really sad. Like it just won't let me. If I try and put insatiable, then boom, pulls it out of that one, you see? So that's a really big sad because, damn it, I just did it again. Hardened bones, insatiable appetite. So that really sucks because I mentioned before, like kind of the gameplay here is being able to, let me pick a different kind one, is to be able to like have conduit slotted in here and you just change the route that you take depending on what kind of content you're wanting to do. Like that or something, you know? And then down here for our choices, we have Runeforge Spurs. Mounted movement speed is increased by 5%. If attacked while mounted, mounted movement speed is increased by an additional 10% for 5 seconds. So that's a 15% mount increase when you get attacked. That's amazing for open world to make sure like you don't get knocked off your horse or whatever while you're trying to like make it through like big packs. This could be a huge like speed boost there, but I personally like Bonesmith Satchel more, because I do care about my professions going into Shadowlands. And this makes it to where you have a chance to obtain a satchel of Bonesmith's preferred ore and gems when you kill an enemy that yield experience or honor. That sounds really good. Sounds like a good way to make money while you're PvPing, a good way to make money while you're mythic plussing. I think that's really awesome. And then for the final ability here, we get Forgeborn Reveries. Upon death, your armor continues to fight, allowing you to fight for an additional 10 seconds. During this time, your damage and healing done is reduced by 50% and you cannot receive healing. So basically, it just keeps you around for a little longer in a reduced power state. This is cool for PvP or PvE, so you can make sure that like you can help your team down that boss if you die, you know. And that could come in clutch. Like there will be somebody who's like, I totally cleared the boss because of this ability. It's gonna happen. PvP, it's a little less useful though, because the chance of that happening is much like you actually making a difference with your, before you die, like during this opening, chance of making a difference are pretty slim. And pretty much once somebody dies like in threes, then it's game over pretty much, unless you're in some cheesy shit, So yeah, a very interesting ability. I'm not sure how useful it is going to be. For Blood DK, it's going to be pretty useful actually. And in fact, maybe that's what this whole tree really is for, with the thorns and all the endurance conduits that you can take. I mean, imagine if you went like this route and you got all these endurance conduits, and then you took this, like you're like a never dying DK now, never dying in whole Blood DK. So maybe that's the play. Maybe that's like the secret to this guy's row, is that it's like just be a Blood DK for this row. I don't know, or like a really tanky PvP build or something. So yeah, once again, what I really want to get through this is like talk about all the opportunities, all the possibilities. Like there's so many builds in this thing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what build ideas you guys have. So leave your ideas in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to reading them. Also, I just wanted to say I am going to start streaming on Twitch this Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I will be streaming every Friday after that at that time as well. So I hope I see you guys drop by and say hey. Without any further ado, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day.